in terms of the world.
Thanks. Truman, how you got to Nu Skin and when you knew this was going to be more than just a job and really become a passion.
Well, good afternoon, everyone, and thank you, Andrea. I am not born into the industry. I'm a convert to the industry. I, like many people, suffered from perhaps common misperceptions of what direct selling is all about. For me, it took 7 years of private practice as a lawyer, and then another 4 or 5 years running a company that distributed products through traditional distribution channels, such as the Walmarts of the world, to be open and willing to get to know the direct selling channel. So I joined Nu Skin in 1996 to take the company public at the time, which is what I'd done as a lawyer in private practice. And but I really intended to get that project done and move on to another one, and I'm still there. And I brought a slide that I want to just share quickly, if you don't mind, that for me explains why I think direct selling is such a unique channel and such a unique environment. Now, I'm not a psychologist, but I'm going to use a little pop psychology here and draw on Maslow's hierarchy of needs. All right, so Maslow was a psychologist in the mid-1900s who studied the most successful people and evaluated how they developed psychologically. And he pointed out, for example, that the most basic psychological need that all people have is the need to be physiologically taken care of, to have our basic needs met. And so when I think of brands based on this particular aspect of Maslow's hierarchy, I think of brands like Walmart, McDonald's, IKEA, other very popular brands that meet basic human needs. So as we work our way up the chain here, the next need is safety, a feeling of reliability and trust. And when I think of brands in this category, I think of Procter & Gamble, Toyota, Ford, and working our way up further. The next step is, okay, please advance the slide. My button doesn't seem to be working. A need to feel love, a need to feel like you belong to a culture. So there we might have Facebook or Disney or eBay as brands that stand out. And then there's a human need to feel esteem and to feel respect and to feel prestige. And there we might think of an Apple or a Mercedes or a Nike or some of the most prestigious brands in the world. But for me, direct selling is very, very unique because I really believe we are the only channel in the world, the only brands in the world that enable us to address every one of these 5 human needs. And particularly as direct sellers, where we have the opportunity to enable people to be all that they can be, to create an asset that can bless not only their lives, but the lives of their children and generations to come, and to also make a difference in the lives of others around us in the world. This is why I feel like direct selling brands deserve to be on the top of the heap when it comes to all of the world's best brands. I know of no other channel that does this the way our companies do it. So I'm going to brag just a little bit here about Nu Skin, but these next couple of slides are really just to say that we as an industry have an absolutely unique ability to not only influence the lives of those who come into our systems, into our own corporate cultures, but to also influence the world around us. Now, in Nu Skin's case, for example, we started a program called Nourish the Children 8 years ago, where we recognized that every 6 seconds somewhere in the world, a child dies of starvation or malnutrition. Every 6 seconds, 6 to 7 million children a year dying from starvation or malnutrition. This is a problem that the world can solve. We have the resources to solve it if we can just get the food where it's needed. So we used our expertise to develop a highly nutritious product called Vitamil, which our distributors purchase from us like they would any other product. We then arrange for the delivery and donation of that product to humanitarian organizations throughout the world, such as Feed the Children or the UN World Food Program, for example. And they then deliver it to the children who need it most. So since we started this program, we have now served 235 million meals to malnourished children around the world, about 2.5 million meals monthly in 31 different countries. So since I couldn't, yeah, thank you. Thank you. There is no other business model on the face of the earth that could do this, and I know each of our companies are doing this in a different area. Since I couldn't bring some of these children with me today, I brought a little video that I just want to share with you really quickly. So in our company, we have a saying that being a force for good in the world may be only 5% of what we do, but it's 95% of who we are. And I really think that that's reflective of the direct selling companies that I'm familiar with, and certainly everyone on this stage, and is why I find myself glued to this industry irrevocably, because there's just there's nothing else like it.
Andrew, if you excuse me, I think that we should broke our rules, and I'm sure that everybody would like to hear your story. Why you started, why you stay. We deserve this. Please, could you share?
Oprah Winfrey says that her guests can never ask her any questions on it. I joined Avon at the end of 1993, and I think like probably Magnus or Truman, you never thought that on that day that I would be here in the company. I guess next week or something. It's 12 years as the CEO, and that for me has been, just simply a privilege. But I had been in marketing, retail, beauty, always in the cosmetics business and the fashion business for many years. So the category was not new to me, but the channel was. And when I interviewed for a marketing, I came in a marketing merchandising job in the the U.S. division when I first came in, and I remember thinking at that time that it was a very strategically interesting channel, globalization, a different consumer. So I joined on that very first day probably for intellectual reasons or cerebral reasons, and after about a week, I've stayed 18 years later for emotional reasons, I think probably like the rest of us. I mean, you just end up having, I think I mentioned it, a love affair with the company, with what it's about. you know, we say that we're in the business of changing lives, but I guess truth be told is that I'm a very different person. I think I'm a very different person because of direct sales. I mean, it has, the company and the industry has fundamentally, I think, changed who I am. I thought I was a good person with good values and tried to give back before I joined, but I think it just changes so much your vantage point on how it's not about work. It's not a work, it becomes a purpose. These jobs become a purpose, so the quarters, the crazy public quarters, they pass by, but you don't think about that because the glass half full is that every single day you get to do something that's worthwhile. When I graduated from college, actually, I wanted to join the Peace Corps, but my parents had no money when I got out of school, so they said, you can't do that, you need to go get a job. And I did think for many years, until I found direct selling in Avon, that those were two opposite paths. You could either do philanthropic work or give back to the community or that sort of idealistic change the world stuff, or you could go to work and earn a living. And I think I speak for all of us when, you know, this is an industry. These are the rare opportunity to actually find both, that the work and the purpose collide, and that you get to go to work every day with the not only doing, as we say, doing well, but doing good. And I think that's what's kept me here for nearly 20 years.
Okay, thank you very much.
Okay. You know, I think certainly we're in East meets West is the theme of the conference, and all of us, even if we're regional players or global players or in single countries, we know that the opportunity is beyond boundaries of a single country or a single region. And so I think we've all had experience up here on this panel, these gentlemen have, of globalization, entering new markets, and I thought it would be interesting for each of you to just sort of talk about what, as we've expanded, you know, does a business model work in the same way in countries within region, outside region? What works? What challenges have you found? And what's been easier and what's been more difficult than you thought over your experience? And I'll just start with Doug. I mean, you're in 80 countries. I mean, certainly some of the learnings to share with the group.
Sure. Well, thank you. It's really an honor being a global company and having a chance to operate around the world. And I think, as you heard earlier, the thing that strikes me the most is the similarities. Now, you can find a lot of reasons why each market is different, and they are. And you can find a lot of technical, operational aspects that have to be unique to comply with local laws and regulations, and there are. But we can all come back to the human element, and I think, as you heard in everyone's introductions, our ability to focus on those things that are the same. And at the end of the day, that's how we can connect in so many different cultures with a single business opportunity that still reaches and touches people. One of the things I think that's important in our experience in Amway is that we become very local very fast. We're an American company, but we're not really an American company when we go to a different market. If you pick Turkey, for example, our leadership here is Turkish, our distributor leaders are Turkish, and they take over the market and run the market. Pick any market, Thailand, Russia, India, where we go, the ideas touch people, but the people themselves make it work in that market. Our experience has been that if it's only people from outside of the market coming, it's a really slow start. That some can come in to get it started, but until people in that culture, in that country grab it and make it their own, that's what takes it forward. And there's a balance because and we try to arrive with an understanding that we are a guest in your country, whatever country that may be. We're a guest. It's your country, your laws, your habits, your culture. And so we want to do our best to be an honorable guest. We want to treat our hosts with respect. And so we comply with the laws. We make sure we offer good products and a good business opportunity and stand behind it. And so as a global company, I think the thrill is to be able to go around the world but it's to become, to see the similarities and then become part of that culture, become